everybody. Welcome back to another Sunday Live. BareRose Garage's Sunday Live. Who all we got in here? It looks like we got Unfinished Project. Up. Good to see you, man. Wendy English of the Englishes. What's going on? Oh, let me get my mic over here. Yeah, one of these days I'll get this all figured out and get it set up beforehand, but I doubt it. Oh, Kevin's Rust. Good to see you, man. You're just up a little bit north of me there. I hope you fared a little better than I did over that big old storm we had. It just finally quit snowing out there. JV's Little Shop. Great to see you guys. You got Mr. Lars tied up in the corner over there. Great to see you guys. Philip the Third. What's going on, man? I haven't caught up with you in a little bit. How's your small block doing? Dreading the cleanup. Oh Lord, me too. Oh, and after I get all mine cleaned up, I got to go up to Dad's place and clean up him too. He had a whole bunch come down, and unfortunately, the shelter that we had the 39 in, it caved in, but it didn't hurt the car, but it covered it in snow. But luckily, it didn't hurt the car. The 39 Chevy that I started my channel on. But once I get cleaned up here, it took me pretty much all afternoon to get myself dug out. And I done broke 3-point chains on my tractor doing it. That snow was just brutal heavy. And the little Massey, well, it didn't hurt the tractor any, just the chains that hold the 3-point to keep the blade on the back from going side to side. I got little chain connectors down on the bottom that hold it. It broke both of those. And I just got to find another set of them, put them on there. Anyway, I've been busy. Landing Custom Classics. What's going on, Cousin Mike? Yeah, I guess you were out of power for a long time. We had power the whole day, but Dad was out of power too for most all of yesterday. Lars is not here today. You're working without him, huh? You're the proud parent of a bouncing baby 4-bolt. Good deal. But in all honesty, the 2-bolt, it just has a bad reputation is all. The 2-bolt Chevy, they're plenty good too. It's just always nice to have a 4-bolt too. Terry Grover, what's going on? Great to see you and the Grover family out there. Holy cow, you finally got yours back 36 hours with it being out? Dadgum. You can see why a lot of people around here have still got a wood burning stove. You got to have a backup around here. Unfortunately, I don't. So I sweat bullets when that happens. I've got a propane powered little, it's just a little tiny, more for decoration than anything else, little fireplace wannabe out in the front room, but it'll light and it'll give off radiant heat, but it takes the fan to actually get any kind of heat out of it. Otherwise, it just sucks the propane and You don't get much heat out of it. Yes, I had a 2-bolt. I had 2 other 2-bolts. This is my first 4-bolt. Oh, sweet. Like I said, unless you're stepping up into some serious horsepower numbers with it, that truthfully is too much horsepower for the street and the asphalt, a 2-bolt will handle it. Your power up there stayed pretty good, huh? Yeah, like I said, I did too, which is really strange because cousin Mike is just south of me and my dad is just barely north of me. Both those guys lost power and I'm right in the middle and I still had it. Weird. My dad found out that while shooting critters, he hit this one generator with a 12 gauge. But yeah, as you've seen in that last video I did up, it's real shaky because I was using my phone for it. I just out checking all the damage and stuff and whipped my phone out of my pocket. So video quality on it isn't all that great, but you kind of get the gist there of, yeah, here in Idaho, we kind of dread a nice warm February because all them trees, they start coming out of hibernation and start coming alive. And right at that first couple of weeks, they are brittle beyond brittle. And sure enough, that snowstorm hit with that heavy, heavy, wet snow. And you all night long, in fact, I didn't get hardly any sleep at all. Well, from Friday night through early Saturday morning. I spent most of the night walking around making sure everything was okay. I was afraid one of them was going to fall over the house or fall over my porch out back. But we fared out okay. It's just a lot of cleanup. And the car didn't get hurt none. There's a little bit of a bloop in the fender on that 65 Dart, but nothing big. I can take the headlight out and pop it right back out. So I'm not worried about that. And the 57 Dodge that I got out there, that hood I'm not worried about one bit because I'm taking the whole nose off of that car, off that truck, and I'm sticking a 55 nose on it with the 55 butterfly hood. So that hood I'm not too concerned about. Hey, Hubie, what's going on? Great to see you. You're getting all the rain down there. Yeah, my daughter, she's San Diego. That's where she's at. Yeah, they're flooding again down there. They're just getting pounded with rain down in Southern California. So much snow, had to get the Ford out. I missed your video on how the little tractor did in that kind of snow. I was kind of wondering if it'll probably do pretty good. I don't know how good it'll do plowing, but just driving around, it should do really good. It's light enough it can come up on top and not spin the tires. Never bored S10 addict. Great to see you, man. And the nicest guy on all of YouTube. What's going on, Tim Windsor? Great to see you. Just started snowing again here in Riverside, huh? Oh. Riverside. Oh, you're down south of me there. Everything horsepower. What's going on? Great to see you, man. Like always, it's just an open live. I got the link pinned up there. Anybody wants to come on in, go ahead and come on in. We'll talk about the weather. We'll talk about unfinished projects. We'll just talk about anything this week. And yeah, you can tell I didn't. If the weather was going to hold, I was going to do this live out in the shop. But yeah, the weather didn't hold. Mater's Workshop. It's a very cold 79 here in North Texas, huh? Yeah, for what it's all worth, though, I don't really mind. March is actually one of my favorite months, even though we get this all the time in March. But I know that spring is coming and warm weather is coming, so I don't mind March. Even though the weather goes absolutely 100% crazy in March. I'm sure it's like it is everybody everywhere else. It's just we get it at a different time than anywhere else. How much total did we get? Oh, it's hard to say because it'll snow for a while and then it'll rain and then it'll snow and then it'll rain. Uh, I'm guessing about a foot and a half to 2 feet total precipitation. Snow wise, probably about a foot. That's the problem is when it's a snowing or raining, it just turns right back into big, heavy snowflakes like that, and just brutal. Then the wind to pick up, and then it turns into kind of an ice sleety bullet rain that comes at you sideways. Yeah, it's fun. It's a balmy 63 degrees in the mid Atlantic. You can borrow my snowblower. It hasn't seen action in almost 3 years. I've got a couple of them. This kind of snow, though, oof, it's hard to snowblow this stuff. It's like soup. It comes out of the discharge on the snowblower like New England clam chowder. Just 26 here. Yeah. Warmed up to a big old 26, and it's supposed to be low like this. This is our highs for the next 3-4 days. Then it slowly starts to come back up. At night, it's getting pretty brutal cold at night. I had to crack my water faucets again. And I'm always scared of doing that. I have to do it because the pipes will freeze otherwise, but I got a septic tank, so the last thing I want to do is go out there with a pickaxe to uncover the septic tank so I can pump the septic tank out in freezing cold weather. That's a job I don't, yeah. Knock on wood, I haven't had to do it yet. That's just kind of a last resort one. And the guy that rebuilt our septic system, he did a really, really good job. That's one of those jobs you want to make sure is done 100% correct, and you never have to worry about it again, because that's a real crappy job. It hit 68 here in Delaware. Daggone. '75 in sunny Northwest Florida. You ship the horses? Oh, sweet. So you're on easy time for a little bit. How many of them did they leave behind that you have to stable, though? I think last year they left, what, 2, 3 of them for you? '65 in Jersey, huh? Yeah, right at the tail end of February, we were touching the 60-degree mark. In fact, 2 days I watched on my thermometer outside. It hit 60 for a little bit and then dropped right back down. It was nice. It was bad. Yeah, actually, I've got one that's a 2-cycle, and it's got the rubber paddles, impellers like that. I I use it on the roof because I have a rubber membrane roof on top of my place, and well, my back porch, it's not flat, but it's pretty close. And same with the addition on the side of the house here. It's almost flat, so I got to get up there and blow that off all the time. And I use that one because of it's rubber. It won't hurt the membrane, that rubber membrane. So yeah, I get a bunch of looks up there, snow blowing the top of my house off. And it's real light. It's not a very big snow blower, so I can grab it, throw it on my back, and climb up the ladder and go to town. I even use it on the back porch part is all asphalt shingle, and it doesn't hurt them either. Tonight's forecast, mostly dark with scattered sunlight in the morning. And I take a little bit of Pam cooking spray, and I spray it all down with it too. That seems to help a lot too. But everything on the outside, I fire the tractor up and just that makes it easy. When you hit 1,000, thanks for Kim for the number 1 and up from 1,000. That's pretty cool. I was your first subscriber. That's pretty doggone cool, Hubie. And you've come a long way since then. And well deserved on that thousand sub mark, man. No problem, Mater. We'll see you in a bit. Kim fixes things. What's going on? Great to see you. There's 2 Kims now? Oh man, I know. That's a dangerous combination to get together, isn't it? Great to see you. Those videos you've been doing with Buff here lately, that's pretty good stuff. Keep them coming. Eric Halvorsen, great to see you. Our friend up in Norway. 39 in the Fahrenheits and in the Fs in southeast Norway. Ah, wow, you're actually pretty warm up there. I never get the feeling of Fahrenheits. Had to ask Google. That's like me with Celsius. Let's see, make sure I didn't miss anybody here. I have another buddy in Idaho who has a snowblower and a leaf blower. He usually uses the leaf blower to clear the snow off his driveway. Yeah, that works good with the powder. And we get a lot of powder snow, so right, it's just in the spring that it's real wet. Other than that, it's generally nice powdery. Skiers and snowblowers, snowmobilers love that stuff. But down here in the valley, the wind tends to blow. So if it only snows maybe a couple inches, that could equate to like 6-foot drifts. Especially out here where it's all farmland, there ain't nothing to stop it. So yeah, it kind of piles up everywhere. There's been many a times that loafing shed out there, the backside of it, because our wind generally always comes from the west and the south, and it'll blow that up to where that's level with the roof on the west side and sometimes up on the south side too. Chances are you could break 2 grand today. That's pretty cool, Hubie. It was work finding a format to keep Buff on with making content. He enjoys telling stories and discussing old cars. The live format is working well. Sweet. And those old stories are the best too. I know a John Oliverson from the band Belter Space. Huh. Oh, would you look at there? We got Rapid Transit slide right in there. What's going on? Good to see you, man. Yep, been warm for a couple weeks and lots of rain. Bare ground again. Sweet. I would love to one day go over there and see, well, all of Scandinavia, Norway, Sweden, all of that. All the fjords in Norway. Good Lord, those are just beautiful. And the car culture there. Yeah. You guys got a heck of a cool car culture going on. The next tool you need is the 22nd mystery extraction tool. Used to live in Chicago for 43 years. I don't miss the snow at all. I'll just stay here in Florida, especially in Chicago. All the Great Lakes states, you guys get nothing but like the snow that we're getting right now. That heavy backbreaking stuff. So I don't blame you one bit. Plus, you get all of the humidity and the winds coming off of there. Ooh, that's just brutal. Here, it's pretty. Well, it's all high altitude and it's high plains desert, so it might get cold, but as they always say, it's a dry cold. Let's see, where was I? Dean, I was watching the video again and was thinking I didn't use enough tools. You can never have enough tools. Justin Hill, good to see you, man. I hope you fared okay through all that snow, that nasty blizzard we had. Yeah, family in Norway, huh? Bucket list trip for you. Mine too. They have fjords in New Zealand too. Volvos. That's another place I'd like to see too, New Zealand. It is said to be more old cars and cars per heads in Sweden than in America, even. Yeah, a lot. Well, it was started about 20 years ago, and it really amped up about 10 years ago. Good Lord, the Swedes were just buying up anything and everything they could here. I have a friend who he specializes in more like the survivor rat rod kind of stuff. He sold one, two, three of them to Sweden. Guys just they they had a broker come up out of a or I don't know if he's what you call a broker or whatever, but a guy from Salt Lake came up and looked at them, and they did the deal, and he sent them over. Shipper come over, picked them up, and off they went. But there's quite a few of our old cars, especially the big ones like Cadillacs and Packards. That's one that he sold them was a Packard. Uh, they just love the big cars over there. That Packard was a 40, 41, 41 or a 40 Packard. I can't remember right offhand. And the other was a Cadillac. He was going to cut up for parts, but when they were there to look at the Packard, the guy called him up and took pictures and everything of that old 72, I think it was, Cadillac of his too. He just bought the car for it had the 500 in it. But yeah, they looked at that too, and they bought both of them. There's always new tools, engineers for removing Porsche 971 panorama starter motors without There. Did it come back? There. Kick out the phone there. Had to hurry up and switch on over to the phone here to comment. Ah, we lost everything. Whew. Yeah, I don't think that storm is quite done with us yet. Oh, sorry about that, everybody. I'll keep this running as long as I possibly can. Like I said, I don't know how long it's going to last, though. There we go. Home on the Ranger. What's going on, Dean?
I'm just walking around in the yard. Hope not to get hit by a bit of space junk.
So that's what summer looks like.
That's it. Yeah. There's no ice between the ground and my feet.
Oh, I like looking into the future like this. It's downright nice.
If anybody here gets depressed, I want to tell you tomorrow's just fine.
Yeah, out at the lumber yard there?
Yep.
Oh, sweet.
Yep. They got wood next door. Wahey.
Let's see, where are we? Get caught back up here. kind of had a rude interruption there.
That's the trees. I'm sure it's just the trees. I'll log off and hop back into the chat.
You're welcome anytime there, Dean.
No worries.
I've applied for entry to cover for you, if you wish. Kimbergini. That's a cool one. I like that one. Big Mike's Hoopty Barn. What's going on, Brother Hoop? Great to see you. Like I said, if I happen to just freeze up again, yeah, I'll do everything I can to keep this thing going. In fact, I don't think my connection speed is running quite too hot now. In fact, when I got on to try to log on with my phone, you could tell a lot of people were using the AT&T wireless because it took forever for it to log in. Usually it's not too bad. Well, spring weather. What more could you ask for, right? I sure appreciate you all for hanging in there. Slow enough for you, huh? I don't know. Something's going on up in Idaho Falls, I'll bet you. That's where all my internet comes from. I'm actually on what's a Sparklight? Used to be Cable One, but now Sparklight owns them. So they get it all from there, and then it's all hardlined in like the old cable TV system. So every time I get internet kind of funky going on, I just look north of me and yeah, okay, they're getting some good sized storms or something. It's coming. Yeah, you just gotta love this spring weather. And like I said, I got the link up there. If anybody wants to jump in, go ahead and hop on in. Well, We'll talk about anything or anything today. Oh, got to get everything set back up here. I was in a bad rush to get that there. Ah, there we go. Other than that, yeah, I ain't got no time to get out to the shop any and do anything out there, but good night. I got to get busy on that 58 again. I am so far behind on it. It is unreal. Summer is just ending down there. Soon it'll be in the autumn down there. Yeah, and then it'll be the spring here. I'm sorry, Dean, but I can't wait. I would, but I'm just sitting down for a few minutes. Thought I'd stop in. No problem, big brother. That was a really good series that you and Joe did. Joe is one sharp guy. As the push rods was one thing, you can see that, but to be able to catch those roller rockers on there, yeah, that was a good catch. Because good night, they were only what, about that much contact on the valve stems there. Oh, it probably would have spit a push rod immediately. Right when you first tried to fire it up, it probably would have spit those push rods out. All Mopars go to heaven. That'd make a good t-shirt. I feel your diet pains. I did Nutrisystem, Golo, Mediterranean, and I just started doing the 16-8 intermittent fasting. I lost 4 pounds in 3 days. That's pretty cool. This Mopar's gone to heaven. I better quit that, or yeah, y'all all go home. Good to see you there, John. Hello, all. Better late than never. I hope everyone is doing good. So far, so good. I'm fighting a little internet connection, but so far, so good. Thanks. I'm hoping to get back to work on the Green Goblin soon. Yeah, you're pretty much just in interior and cleanup stuff, little wiring and stuff like that. We're currently making arrangements for services for my dad who passed away. Oh, son of a gun, Mike. Oh, Lord. I'm so sorry. Oh, our thoughts really go out to you there, my friend. Hang in there and keep your chin up. He is a good man. Copyright strike. Yeah, I'll probably get one of them on there when I actually got one for whistling. I don't even know what tune I was whistling. It's just something that came into my mind. That was a long, long time ago. It looks like everything horsepower is trying to come in. There you are. How's it going, man?
Good. How you doing?
Oh, not too bad.
Sounds like you're getting the crap weather thrown at you.
Oh, Lord, yeah, it's beating the pee out of us.
Lucky guy. Hope it doesn't come here.
Has it kind of let up on you guys up there? Uh-oh, looks like it done got him. Or did it get me again?
Well, not too bad. We I mean, it's been
Yeah, it sounds like it's either your connection or my connection.
You still there?
Yeah, but it looks like you're froze up.
Jim froze up.
I was looking to see if it was mine again.
Seems like still froze.
Your audio's coming through okay, but the video's froze.
It is. I can hear you. You're not moving.
Probably a slow connection or something.
Stable internet connection.
I see. Get caught back up here. That's good, Mike. Well, yeah, as good as it can be. Yeah. Again, yeah. All of our thoughts go out to you, my friend. Yeah, sorry about that. Everything looks like a bad internet connection. Like I said, it freaked me out. I thought, oh, it was mine again. $87 is pretty good, but still too short. Yeah, I am deeply scared of that day as well. You got to enjoy the time that you have and live it all to the fullest. And look forward to the time when we all meet again someday in some way. That he is, Mike. Did I lose my power yesterday? No, actually, I skipped it for some weird reason. Everybody on this side of the street still had power, but everywhere around us was out. No truer words said there, Mopar Nut. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, everything. You can try again later or something. Yeah, and it's looks like it's starting again. It just won't let up. It just uh Sure enough, we got big old flakes starting to coming down again. I'm not going to look out the window. It's depressing. Oh, there, Annabella. Great to see you. Sure like the support. And everybody go check her out. She's got some pretty good stuff going on. Mike lost power. Did he just lose it again? I know the power company and the county guys, they've been running nonstop. Power lines going down, trees coming down. Yeah. These good wet snows blizzards we get in March. But when you live your whole life here, you expect it. 77. I'll be dadgum. Yeah, down there, you guys tend to get this a little earlier. You get this kind of stuff in February, if I remember right. So I watch your channel to get a preview on what's going to happen here in a month. But you guys get that freezing rain stuff that is a little bit on the brutal side. Uh-oh, a little warning sign come up here. It says Wi-Fi is unstable. Hold it together, hold it together. Somebody show me where to stick the screwdriver in this dadgum thing, and I'll fatten the air mixture up a little bit. See if I can get it to run and keep it going. It reminds me of a dying fuel pump in a car with a manual choke. If you work the choke, manual choke back and forth enough times, and that fuel pump is losing pressure, you can actually nurse it on home. It's kind of a manual limp mode. I've had to do that more than once. Landon speaks very highly of you. I told you not to trust everything old cousin Mike's got to say. Thanks, Annabella. I sure appreciate that. It was 77 here in the West Tennessee today. We almost moved to West Tennessee. In fact, it's still looking tempting, especially on days like this. We were going to go just north of Memphis. We were looking at it anyway. Yeah, other than the one really cold spell this winter, has been fairly mild. That's good. Air mixture with a Wi-Fi. Wouldn't that be like an Airstream? I like the way you think, Eric. I'm going to go with that. Vacuum powered choke pump. Where it snows, the beater car goes. I want you all to know that tomorrow is great. Good Lord, I hope so. That's where you're at, 45 minutes north of Memphis? Yeah, that's about where I was looking at. another guy on YouTube here, Doc Art's Hot Rod Rehab. He had a couple of houses for sale right up in that area. We were looking, well, me and the wife, we thought about it pretty serious. And I like Tennessee. 2 years ago for the No Name Nationals, we actually got over and for the No Name Nationals in Sykeston, Missouri. And after it was over with, because Memphis isn't too far from there, we just went ahead and went on into Memphis and checked out Tennessee a little bit. Beautiful state. And the politics there are pretty close to Idaho's. I think I could get along living over there. I like any state that lets you do anything you want to do as long as you're not hurting anybody else. And that we all do, Dean. Let's see, where are we at here? Yeah, my internet little Wi-Fi thing up in the corner there, it keeps flashing, so I imagine I'm probably freezing up there a little. And it's affecting the chat here. It's hard to keep up. Don't give up on tomorrow. Very true there. Yeah, that's one of the drawbacks over there. Especially for us guys up here that have lived in the high plains desert all of our lives. Good night. I hit 40% humidity, and it's brutal. So I can only imagine over there, especially in like Mississippi, Alabama, Florida area. Good Lord. Wow, small world. That's pretty cool. Yeah. It's kind of funny too. Everybody warned us about Memphis, kind of being a rough town. You really got to be careful there. We had no troubles whatsoever. Walking down Beale Street, no problems whatsoever. In fact, that whole trip, the only city or town that made me uncomfortable. In fact, I got up multiple times during the night to go down and make sure the car was still there. It's Kansas City. Kansas City was the only town that, yeah, I got a little nervous on that one. Thanks for stopping in, Mike. Like I was saying, our prayers and thoughts go out to you, my friend. Have a good night. Get some good rest. What temperature is it at the moment? Looks like 24 degrees. And it's dropping. When I first started, I think it was 27. So yeah, it's dropping fast. And it looks like a big old wall coming towards us from the northwest there. And you can tell it's blowing pretty good out across the desert there, and it's dead silent here. So something's coming tonight. Yeah, that's outside, but we're in the F's. We got an F on our report card, not a C. Memphis is really bad. Even tornadoes bypass Memphis. It was pretty cool though. The wife had a whole bunch of hotel points built up. So we stayed at a hotel that's not too far. Well, it's right across the the street from the Peabody. Yeah, Peabody Hotel. I think it's what it's called. Real famous hotel there in Memphis, right by Beale Street. It was all free. Well, she used all of her hotel points for it, and it gave us like big discounts on the carriage horse ride around and stuff like that. So we took advantage of that, and big discount on the riverboat ride. So we did both of those, and it was a lot of fun. Not the big riverboat cruise. It's just one that just kind of goes out and goes around and comes back. It's like a half hour, 45-minute little paddle boat ride, but it was pretty cool. I think for both of them, it was like, I think it cost us like $100 for both of those. And it was our anniversary too. So it just kind of all worked out. Scarlet, the four-eyed Cuda. What's going on? Good to see you. Yeah, it's picking up snow out here. It's not snowing up there. It's starting to come down pretty good out here. Big flakes again. They're like that. Bad attitude C10. What's going on, Yellow Blake? Good to see you, my friend. I may not be building in Montana. Fish and Game plans to build a parking lot right on my property line. What? A parking lot for what? Especially the Fish and Game. Montana, about 30 years ago, Montana was a pretty good state, but it's been slowly changing into something different. That area where you're at up there, well, the closer you get to Missoula, yeah, well, it's like anything. But it seems like Missoula and Bozeman, those are two cities you want to stay away, as far away from as you possibly can in Montana. Beautiful cities. They're just a little more implanted. That's a good way to say it. My grandparents used to ranch out of Sheridan, Montana. It's in between Virginia City and Twin Bridges, over by Dillon. I guess Dillon would be the big city, biggest, well, in Montana terms, about 3,000 people. That's big city. uh, but my grandparents ran well, with them and the other ranchers around there. They run about 3,300 head of cattle out there. But they sold out. Well, when my grandpa got Alzheimer's, real well, more like complete dementia. He didn't really get Alzheimer's. It was boom, within a week he had full blown dementia. Had to go into a nursing home, and when that happened, They just sold everything out, sold all the cows, sold everything, and moved him down here to Idaho. Moved everything down here. Excuse me. And that was the end of the ranch life. I'm so glad you guys had a good experience. Yes, that's a nice place to stay. I usually park in the Peabody Hotel parking garage when I go to Bill Street. It's safe. You ever watch the ducks? all the time walking around there, everybody says, "Oh, you got to go see the ducks." I could not figure what the heck that whole thing is. We went and seen that. Oh, it's a super silly thing, but if you're ever there at the Peabody Hotel or around it, you got to go see the ducks. It's it's funnier than I'll get out. And they tell you the whole story about how it came to be and everything. Yep, they're the most famous and the richest ducks in the entire world. It's just funnier no. The March of the Ducks, I think they call it. Oh. Busted Radio Garage, the real BRG. What's going on, man? Great to see you. And we got Jeff Rowe from Two Hacks Garage. What's going on? You and old Jimmy are doing a pretty good job on that building that front engine dragster. All you guys who haven't checked out Two Hacks, you gotta go check him out. He's got one heck of a cool project going. And that's a lot of chromoly tubing. That's something I've never done. Those a chassis build for that is Jimmy knows his stuff, because there's no suspension in them things. The chassis is kind of the suspension a little, and of course the tires and everything, but it takes a whole lot of know-how to build those things. Did I miss Colleen there? Like I said, this creeping slow internet connection I got going right now because of that storm. It's messing with the daggone comments here. There we go. You got another 10 hours in on it today? Sweet. An hour and 10 minutes from Missoula. Yep. Beautiful up there, though. Flathead Lake. Oh, Kalispell's actually a beautiful town. And like I said, Missoula is a beautiful town, too. And you're up right against the Rockies. Glacier National Park's not too far from there. I always wanted to go back up to Glacier in August, about mid or late August. Because up there, you go in July, there's still a lot of snow up there in Glacier. They only get about 2-3 weeks of summer. You got to catch it right at the prime time. Of course, that's when everybody else is trying to get up there too, so it's a little crowded. That's why if you watch a lot of old school racing with front engine dragsters, they were smoke fest. I used to like seeing them right after they did the burnout. and they, you know, they let off of it, and the whole car had just woof, 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 woof. And then they come back. That it is. Montana is beautiful, except for the midsection all the way to the Dakotas, because the Montana's up above the Black Hills, so they kind of miss that part. And it's just nothing but open plains prairie and cold and windy. Billings, Montana has got to be one of the strangest cities I ever seen. It's down in a hole. As you're driving along, you don't see it until you're right on top of it. And then it just literally, boom, drops down into the hole. And there's Billings all spread out. Smart of them to do it, though, because the wind blows pretty good over there. But they're down in that. It's almost like a canyon. It looks like God just reached down and pushed the dirt down right there, and everybody just kind of built inside of that hole, and the wind just blows right over the top of it, sends it all to Sheridan, Wyoming. Got to get wood in. Snowing hard now. Yeah, that it is. In fact, I can't see across the street now. It's coming down pretty good. That means I'm going to spend a good 3-4 hours snow plowing again tomorrow. Whenever I do mine, and I do my neighbors, and then I go up and I hit plow my dad out. I plow his neighbor out, and then I just kind of hit driveways as I come back around. Probably why everybody leaves me alone about having all these old cars around and stuff. If you're the nicest guy in the neighborhood, people will let you slide with a lot of stuff. Not only that, I'm actually zoned to be able to do this. So even if they did raise a fuss, I'm zoned for it. So my mom lived on the farm outside of Billings when she moved to America. Oh, Lord. On the south side, down towards the Crow Nation, or out towards the Hamilton side? Or on the other side is towards Livingston. That's wind country, and good gravy is it ever cold in the wintertime. They get those Arctic blasts come straight down through Canada, and it just goes right over the top of Billings. Working and checking in from time to time, huh? That kind of breaks up the monotony, you know, gives you something else to do while you're out there in the shop. Oh, would you look at there? Ed's machine. What's going on, man? Great to see you. How's things going over there? One heck of a good machinist right there with Ed's machine. Yeah, if you have any questions or anything, go check out his channel, and Pop in any questions or anything. He's very helpful and very knowledgeable and really great guy. Ed's Munchingsen. Did I freeze up there again? That little warning sign come on there again. Yeah, that's for sure. Him and the guy that was trying to get on here earlier too. Everything horsepower and the Grover boys. Either Adam Grover or Terry Grover. Both those guys. We got such a good crowd in this whole No Name Nationals community. There's a little bit of everybody. Ed knows his stuff, that's for sure. That he does. Yeah, Ed, you gotta get closer to me. Actually, from what JB was saying earlier in his videos and stuff like that, it sounds like Central or Eastern Tennessee could use a good machinist. Hey, Bruce, good to see you. Alberta Clipper, yep. That is one brutal old gal. I spent a bunch of time in Rawlins, Wyoming, and they would get them there too. They get everything. And oh, Lord. Rawlins, Wyoming. Talk about a windy, windy city. I remember hanging gutters on a 3-story apartment complex, hanging rain gutters. I was actually on the insulation crew for BMC West, but when the gutter guy would get in a bind, and BMC would just take everybody from everywhere, and we'd go to wherever. And Rollins always got behind because that is a hard place to work. Anyway, make a long story shorter here. To run the ladders up, one guy, that was me, because I was the smaller of all of them, I would go up and hang off the back side of the ladder, like ladders up here like this. I would hang off of the bottom side of it to add weight to it. And then the big guy would be down at the bottom holding it down while the other guy went up and actually installed the gutter. That was for the wind, because the wind would blow the ladder up and off. Oh, Lord. Rawlins was a fun place to work, that's for dang sure. And it didn't help matters none that I am scared to death of heights. 3 stories up on an extension ladder. Oh. And then hanging on to that rung on the belly side of it. Yeah, that was fun times. No problem, Ed. Keep those videos coming. Keep it all up, man. You do really good work. What's going on? What, do you have Mike? Good to see you, man. We have nothing but idiots here. I'm still trying to fix a rear main leak. That's to machine shop. That's to a machine shop. Oh, Lord. Yeah, I seen some of the, well, that crank that it took forever to get, and then oh Lord, the fiasco that came all around with that. We're lucky here. We do have a couple of really good machine shops right close to me here. Performance Machine in Idaho Falls. Uh, Alden Miller. We've known Alden since, oh, good Lord, Dad's known him since the 60s. Since before it was Performance Machine. And then you have Thunder Machine, just outside of Blackfoot, just barely north of Blackfoot. He's a great guy too, but he's a hard one to get because he does a lot of high-end stuff. Last I heard, he was still doing, and he specializes in heads. In fact, he used to work for Alden at Performance, and that's what he was. He was the head man, and then he went off and started his own shop. But last I heard, he's doing heads for Gravedigger, well, Feld Motorsports. So that'd be Gravedigger and all those guys, Max D, all of them. Plus, he does a lot of racing snowmobiles. He does a lot of specialty stuff. He's pretty high dollar, but he does extremely good work. But he's always backed up because he's got all those high dollar clients. So, you know, he's got to keep them going. So it takes him quite a while to get around to anything from the general public side. Then we have Met's Machine right in Blackfoot, and they're not too bad at all. Those three. Out of all of them, Performance, I'd say, is the best of the bunch. Met's is a little cheaper. But Met's is also a pretty small operation. Oh, then we got Cheney. I always forget about Cheney, but he does mostly old stuff. So if you got old oddball stuff like 1930 Studebaker or old Model Ts and stuff like that, he specializes in that. He's got all the old, very old machining stuff for all of that kind of stuff. And he's out of Idaho Falls too. Model A's, Model T's. He's done like the old Packard 8s, the Buick 8s. He's done a lot of stuff. Nice thing about it too is he does water pump rebuilds. So if you have an off-the-wall weird water pump that's hard to get, Cheney there in Idaho Falls, he can rebuild those for you. Had to go back and separate a cow and a calf. Oh Lord. In this kind of weather? That's the life of farm, man. You're on duty 24/7. Rain, snow, sleet, or shine. I still can't figure out if you have all this fancy CNC stuff, why can't you turn stuff true? Explain it. I can't. Yeah, Landon just had one done. Well, he also had one done for that 430 mail too. That trying to get a water pump for that, that was dang near impossible. And like Lana says here, he only charged $80 for it. And when you get it back, it's like brand new. He also bought all of the brake relining equipment from a company in Idle Falls that used to do it. But I'm not sure if he's quite set up for it yet. But he used to be able to, he'll have the ability to reline brake shoes for those oddball weird stuff. He was cheaper than the rebuild kit online. If I was going to run them old Studebaker brakes, I got a 51 Studebaker Land Cruiser out front. Actually, I gave that one to my daughter, but one of these days I'll put it back together. Actually, I have all the pieces for it, well, except for the engine and transmission, because I sold those a while back. But a small block Chevy and with a turbo 350 on it slips right in the hole. They're almost like they're made to go that way. But anyway, if I decide to keep that rear end and front end under that thing, I'm going to need somebody like Cheney to do a set of brake pads for it. My brake drums look good, but the pads are, they're pretty wore out. And Studebaker pads are completely different. They're one of these days I'll pull one of the brake drums off that car and do a video on it. They're kind of different. Their squeaker is like a button that's about that big around, and the brake shoe has got a donut hole in it that goes over the it's like a brass button right in the middle of the brake shoes. And when the brake shoe wears out, it starts hitting on the drum and squeaking. That's what tells you when it's time to do the brakes. But trying to find a new set of brake shoes for that, they haven't made those since the 60s. So I'm hoping somebody like, hopefully he can get his brake relining stuff all back together and see what he'll charge me to put those on. If I can't, well, I'll stick an 8.8 Ford 8.8 rear end out of a Explorer under it because it's the exact same width. And Ford Granada rotors. And I got the part number for the bearing and race combination to put together. You can actually swap them over to disc brake in the front using Granada rotors and calipers and all that. And it's all done with over-the-counter stock bearings. So if you need to do brakes later on, you have the option and the ability to do it. I have no clue about CNC, but taking wheel alignment as an example, you have to use the brain a little bit too. Yep. Not just look for numbers turning green on the screen. Maybe same with the CNC. I hear you, Eric. Especially when you, like you're saying, with alignment. We have a shop here called Bybees. That's all they do is alignment. They don't do tires and all that. They just do alignments. And they have the ability to put an alignment on all kinds of stuff. They also do like dirt track cars and stuff like that, custom work, because it takes the brain. And there's, especially when you pull something like a rat rod or a custom in there, You can't go off the book on it. So you have to know how to do it. We do that with all of our rat rods. We can get them really close, and then we take them to Bybees, and then they finish it off. But it takes a shop that knows how to use the noodle more than just numbers on a screen. My uncle's dad had 12 Studebakers when he passed away. The family split them up and kept them all. They have a 1913, a 1917, and a 23 touring car. Oh, sweet. 1913. That was pretty close to their first. And the gas powered. A lot of people don't realize, but Studebaker's first attempt was they were electric. But Studebaker's actually been around forever. They built wagons. And around here, if you find a Studebaker wagon, they're actually worth quite a bit of money. Even broke up wheel hubs and the old wagon wheels. You find Studebaker ones, people around here will give money for that. They used to make chuck wagons, and their specialty was doctor's buggies. Prairie schooners, the old covered wagons. And then there was, what was the other one? I forget now. I'm thinking about buying their 51 Studebaker truck to use as a shop truck. It has a 350 in it. The way Studebaker did their front end, well, that would be a truck. That'd be a 51. Yeah, that'd be a straight axle one. But all through on their Studebaker's independent front suspension system, it's a wild, wacky, weird one. But a small block Chevy just slides right into them. If I remember right, the Turbo 350, you can reuse the cross member in them as well. '51 Studebaker truck. I know where there's about 4 or 5 of them. And it's not too far from where we met, Hubie. It's just right there at the casino. You just keep heading down the road a little bit. That's where our golden junkyard is. And old Walt, he's got, like I said, I think about 4 of that body style. I don't know if they're 51, but they all pretty much look the same. I think Kent Rollins has a Studebaker chuck wagon. Oh, really? The 51 is white and looks just like the one Cannonball drove in the movie Hot Rod. Oh, cool. Everybody asked me about my 51 Studebaker gasser, but it's not a gasser. When I set the nose back on it, it's kind of setting up a little bit, so it looks like a gasser, but it's not. It's just sitting that way, and there's no motor or transmission in it, so it's a little high anyway. But mine's a car, the old bullet nose. 51, that was the last year of the bullet nose. It's the one with the glass glass nose. It's got the chrome, but the very center of it isn't glass. The 50 was all chrome. I'm not telling anywhere where you and Mike's honey hole is. I was sworn to secrecy. Well, you got to know how far to go down that road. I was just saying. Will we be seeing BareRose Garage at the No Name Nationals this year? I'm pushing hard for it. I don't know exactly what I'm bringing, but I know what I want to be bringing. I'm going to try to get that 58 together to go. Or might just grab Dad in the motorhome and throw one of the rat rods on the back of the motorhome and head down that way. I don't know, but that would depend on Dad's health. That was actually going to be the plan for last year, but things fell through. That's right about the time he started, not doing so good on the health again. '53 Golden Hawk. You know, the '57 Golden Hawk is actually dang close to my favorite car, to the best car ever made, in my opinion. If they had the '57 with the '63 Gran Turismo engine and transmission, because that's the one that came with the supercharger and everything. That was a hot, fast car. That engine and transmission in a '57 Golden Hawk. Oh Lord, yeah. I just didn't like the looks of the early '60s Gran Turismo Hawks. And the Golden Hawk is actually considered on paper as the first muscle car. But I agree with everybody. It's a two-seater, therefore it's more like a sports car. It was more like a Corvette than it was as a muscle car. But that's real close to being, in my opinion, the best car ever made. For the time, they were stupid fast. A 62 or 61. If it's the Gran Turismo, yeah, they really got something there, especially the 62. That's the one that was what was it, 327 Studebaker with the centrifugal Paxton supercharger on them. $392 Hemi and a Hawk. Yep, that'd be the one. So much Studebaker talk. I'm typing as fast as I can on Google. Hey, Doc, what's going on? Great to see you, man. The Avani. Uh, as strange and weird looking as that car was, it actually held the record as the world's fastest production car for what, 2 years? They took that car out to Bonneville, and holy cow, I can't remember the speed on it, but it was stupid fast for the day, and it beat everything. It on the land speed record. So that's a 5 mile track. A good friend of mine had an Avani. Well, good friend of mine's dad had it, but it never ran. It sat right outside of his garage. Old Jinx. In fact, he's the president of the Studebaker Club. The 289. Yeah, the 289 was up to 50. Well, they kept doing it for a little longer than that, but in the Hawks, I think that was 59. I think. And you gotta be careful. There's the 289 Studebaker, and then later when at the very end, they were actually buying Chevys to put in them, the 283 Chevys. And the 327 wasn't Chevy. It was the Studebaker, Packard Studebaker design. Big air gap plenum, intake manifold. But they were heavy. They were a pretty heavy engine. $352. I don't remember that one. The old Jag 12 cylinder, huh? Oh, did I blink out there? Uh-oh. Is it still going? The power blinked on and off there. Yeah, I think it's still going. Yeah, I'm probably going to lose internet here any second. In fact, I can't even see to the street right now. It's coming down good and hard. I probably better wrap this up before I blink out again. I sure appreciate everybody coming in. Their name is Poe. The president of the Studebaker Club is Jinx. Not Ryan. Ryan Jinx is his son. He's my age. We went to school together. But bring up Jinx. Yeah, they'll probably know him too. I've met people from all over the country, all over the world that actually know him. He's a great guy. Anyway, Yeah, with that, I better hurry up and get out of here before I get froze up again. I can't get in to shut the feed off, and everybody will watching a blank screen, which is probably a little more entertaining. uh, Thanks a million for everybody for coming out. Big Mike's Hoopty Barn, like I said, our thoughts and our prayers really go out to you. And you too, Dean. Keep your heads high, and we're pulling for all of you. And for all of our other friends from overseas, Eric, always great to see you, my friend. And I'm going to get out of here. And oh Lord, I don't want to go outside. Thanks for coming out, everybody. Get out there and keep the metal hot, so you don't have to deal with that stuff. We'll catch you all next week.